Well, I'm Catherine Smart. I'm a councillor, city councillor for Romsey ward. I have been since 1998 and I'm a Liberal Democrat. The other councillors in Romsey at the moment are Labour, which hasn't always been the case. Now, sometimes people get mixed up between the city council and the county council and think, oh, well, the council will do it. Well, the council, yes, does it, but not everything. The county deals with highways, that is their particular thing. The city, for instance, sweeps the streets. Now, this does sometimes get a bit muddling because, as I said, the city sweeps the streets, the county mends the street lights and deals with the potholes. So it sort of gets, as I said, sometimes people just don't know which council it is. Well, people come to me and I say, well, I'll see what I can do about it. And it doesn't really matter that much as to which it is. The big thing about Romsey at the moment, of course, is the whole question of housing and how people can find houses that they can afford. I mean, that actually is not just Romsey, that's the whole of Cambridge, well, it's the whole of the Cambridge area. The problem, of course, and problem's not really the right word, is that the economy is booming. It didn't really pause at all during the big crash of 7 years ago, but house building did stop and have not really caught up even yet, because more and more people want to come for the jobs here in Cambridge and there aren't enough houses for them to live in. And that's why price of houses is so difficult. So then people say, well, I can't move, I need a bigger house, I'll build an extension. But the houses are very close together and building an extension is fine so long as you don't actually harm your neighbour's house. But you can't be taking all the light from your neighbour or overshadowing them and all that sort of thing. So one of the things that I have to deal with as a councillor is planning. Now, planning is city council responsibility, and I am actually on the planning committee. So first of all, on the planning committee, which incidentally is not party political, it's absolutely not party political. But if you're on the planning committee, you have to be very careful that you don't say what you think before you've heard all the evidence at the committee meeting. So you mustn't, funny phrase, fetter your discretion. And so you have to be very careful what you say. But people come and I say, well, their neighbour is going to be building this extension or wants to build this extension and it's going to take all the light. I said, well, right, say so. Say to the planning officer it's going to take all the light. That will matter. But if you say it's going to spoil the view, sorry, we can't take any notice about views. We can about light and overshadowing and sense of enclosure and those sorts of things, but not a view. A new building has to meet a certain standard, a proper design standard. Now, in the part of Romsey, the old part of Romsey, is a conservation area. And so the design, both of an extension and of any new build, is much more important in the conservation area because we don't want to spoil it. And that has to be taken into account. Where it's not in the conservation area, for instance, down Cromwell Road, then other factors come into account. And design, yes, we do want things properly designed, but we don't necessarily want it just imitation, just pastiche. If it's good of its kind, that's the important thing. That it should be, as I say, decent of its kind. The conservation area, it has to fit in some way or other. Yes, if anybody comes to me with an issue, then either I will deal with it myself or I will find somebody who can deal with it for them. Or if I can't, if it's something that the councils really can't deal with, then I will tell them so and suggest perhaps they go to Citizens Advice Bureau or something like that. I would always hope to point them somewhere, though I wouldn't necessarily be able to deal with everything myself. And I mean, in the past, I used to run surgeries. Some councillors do. I ran a surgery, when I first got on the council, I ran a surgery every month for 4 years. And during the 4 years, 2 people came to see me. So I thought, oh, well, this is not really a good way to spend of time. Meanwhile, people were putting notes through the door, people were ringing me up. And nowadays, of course, most of the casework I get comes by email. But if that's not the best place for somebody else, it doesn't matter. There are many times when I go shopping and come back with casework all over my shopping list. If people want to get in touch with me about something, whatever's the best way for them. We do try and keep in touch with people, and our leaflets are one of the ways in which we do. And my contact details are always on the leaflet, and we do have a little website as well.
Well, that's great. That's fantastic. There's plenty there to choose from.
I'm sure.